I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
This is Snake Envy. So last week we started talking about gopher snakes, your favorite species, and we declared to the whole world gopher snakes are the best pet snake. They check all the boxes. Last week we talked about Great Basins, so over the next few weeks we're going to talk about each subspecies, and then we're going to double back and we're going to talk about some of the unique morphs and projects you're working on, things like that related to gopher snakes. So over the next few weeks, tons of gopher snake content, but we think we should bury you with gopher snake content because they're that amazing.
Well, and that's just what we do here. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to emphasize what we do here.
Absolutely. So this week we're going to talk about what?
We're going to talk about San Diego gopher snakes. And their color morphs and localities and such.
Fantastic. Now, what differences, or are there any really, that jump to mind between Great Basins and San Diego's?
Huge difference. A huge difference in the fact of, like everything, but like habitat, range, size. I mean, San Diego's are a little bulkier, in my opinion. The patterning, like, very, very different. You know, San Diego's, I love that, the real busy spotted patterns. The circles, they have the circles.
Stripes.
There's a stripe variation, which is recessive as well. And they're pretty night and day, the two species.
So in terms of habitat in the wild, Great Basins predominantly in deserts, in valleys, that sort of thing. What about San Diego?
You know, it's a coastal animal to inland a little bit. Like, so, yeah, I mean, they definitely desert frequent, you know, they frequent desert habitats as well. But it's just super different. Like, we got high deserts, and San Diego's aren't a high desert animal for the most part. Like, they're a low desert animal.
Closer to the coast.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into localities. What are some of the more popular localities that you have and that are out there in the market in general?
And this is one I don't have any localities on.
Oh, really? You don't?
No.
Are there a couple that everybody that finds desirable out in the hobby in general? You don't hear a lot about.
You don't hear a lot of localities, San Diego's.
Everything's just San Diego. It's more about morphs.
It's more morphs, more morph oriented.
Great Basin, there's definitely some localities that are designed.
Yeah.
San Diego's you don't hear about.
Well, and
I'm sure there is some.
And there it is. There is. The biggest reason you probably don't hear as much on localities versus Great Basins. Look at the range. Like, the range for a Great Basin's massive compared to the San Diego range. And inside that range, from south to north, they vary highly. And you do get variance in San Diego's, but it's just not as dramatic as the Great Basin.
Right.
And so that's probably a reason why there's less localities, I would say.
Yeah, localities are usually about something unique that someone doesn't.
Yeah, like, well, they're beautiful from this area. Yeah.
Yeah, and their whole range. San Diego's are beautiful. There's a lot of variety naturally in terms of stripes and pattern and albinos and. All right. So as far as morphs, what's everybody after?
So this is the one that's kind of confusing to a lot of people because there's so many albinos in just the San Diegos. Just the albinos. You got the old school Applegate, the old trusty. It's been around longer than I have. The Bechdel albino, longer than I've been around. Dyer, technically longer than I've been around. And McGurdy. And that, I believe he caught that in the early 2000s when he found that animal.
Now, I know McGurdy and Applegate originated.
And that was a locality. Yeah.
Did the others originate from wild caught as well? As far as
no, like, so the Applegate was wild caught found. So was the McGurdy. I want to say Scissors Crossing. I want to say it came from that area. I would need to double check on that. That's been a long time. It looks like a striper.
Enough to talk about a couple years back about the
until you have worked with this animal.
And as we mentioned last week when we were talking about Great Basins, one of the cool things about Pituophis in general is they start out plain, they color up as they get older, and so you don't always know what you have initially, including in the wild. I mean, unless the pattern is completely aberrant, it may not even jump out when it comes to wild-caught snakes. But Bob thought he had something unique, but he wasn't entirely sure. He was going to let it go. Then he kept it, and it was given to him and by a person who got it in their yard. And then he said, we'll hang on to that one, see what happens. He goes back to it a while later, and he's like, hey,
wow,
we got something. So that's one of the cool things about pits. It's not always hugely apparent if you're dealing with a young snake what you've got. In captivity, that changes a little bit because everything's been more refined, and you typically know what you're looking for. Plus, you know what you paired, so you kind of know what to expect. But those wild caughts don't always know what you have.
Well, and San Diego's color up a lot.
Yeah.
They get the red tails, the orange tails a lot as they grow. So there's 2 T-negative albinos, 2 T-positive albinos. There might be more. There might be more. I don't know. And there's so many different names for these, all of them floating around, like the Dyer, Clumper, Super Hypo.
And Clumper originated in Europe, right?
Well, it's a Dyer. It's like,
but it is a Dyer.
But like in my opinion,
we've talked about that before.
It's just my opinion.
Stir up trouble.
Yeah, but then you have all these other morphs. You have striped. You have they're all recessive. As in my all of them are recessive in San Diego. You got the anery, that's been established well over 30 years ago. What are we missing? There's the patternless. The patternless is, but John Michaels found that in the wild. Happens to be, it's weird. This one's pretty confusing as well because you can take a patternless and breed it to a stripe and they're totally unrelated. It's a both of a recessive. They will work together. They work on the same allele.
Wow.
And so you get this weird, almost patternless look. What sometimes happens with that?
Interesting.
And I did talk to John Michaels about 2 months ago about this. Yeah, we need to do more research on this. When you cross into a patternless to a stripe, we need to go that.
So you end up getting both, some of each?
Well, you can. And
interesting.
And there just needs to be more follow-up work on that. There needs to be more work done that way to see how that works a little better.
What's missing in San Diego's? What would be the cool find?
Well, I haven't, and again, there's no true hypo. There's no true exanthic.
So the anery and albinos are covered, but exanthic, no.
Hypo, that's a big one. Hypo.
So hypo would be a big one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And some people think there is hypo.
Now, yes, is this one of those that we've also debated a little bit?
Yeah, or T positive and hypo. I lean towards T positive.
You lean toward T positive that we're missing a hypo. Okay, fantastic. Now, how would you go about proving that? Because they're both recessive, correct?
Yes.
So basically, if you only think you have T-positive albinos to use, and you don't think there's any hypo to use, how could you ever prove whether you're getting hypo or not?
Well, first you got to find it, and then prove it out. You got to do your test breedings.
You'd have to find one in the wild first.
Or just have one pop,
or have one pop from an unknown pairing.
And then from there, it's with any morph, you got to test breed it. You can't say, oh, this is this is it. This is a $10,000 animal. You haven't even proved it yet
Right.
to be inheritable.
And the only way to do that now, you got to take a hypo and a hypo and
Or you take a hypo to a het or a normal
right.
to a normal, because you got to start somewhere. And then it's breeding the offspring back, or even back to father or the original hypo. So there's several ways to do it. It's a lot of work, but
What about temperament? In I don't really see much difference between San Diego's Great Basins. Do you? In all your years of it, you have a lot more experience with them than I do. Do you really see one being preferable to the other in terms of temperament? I think they're both fantastic.
yeah, and I like it's pretty rare to have like an ornery San Diego.
Yeah.
Like they're pretty docile. They're pretty mild.
Size-wise, they and the Great Basins are similar.
Yeah.
We're talking that 3.5 to 5 foot range. Typically not any bigger than that.
Yeah.
And again,
There is monster San Diegos out there.
yeah.
There's 6-footers.
in any of them you can have
Yeah.
big ones,
Mhm.
but generally speaking, they
Yeah.
stay on the smaller size. And that's one of the things we were telling everybody last week about gopher snakes. That's one of those boxes they check. You know, they get big enough that they're cool, but they're not, 7 foot, bull snake type size. And that's one of the advantages. The other advantage, temperament, they generally aren't muskers
No.
or buyers.
No. I mean,
But there's a lot of colubrids out there that are going to musk you.
if you get musked by a pit, it's because you're handling it aggressively, or you really startled
You
it.
really startled it, you really caught it off guard, or it just absolutely does not. Even in the wild, I can count on one hand
Yeah.
the number of
It's
times I've been musked.
you have to
It's-
really be handling
it's
it
rare.
rough. Like
And that's one of the advantages as pets. Much easier to deal with the hissing and the showing off than having to get musked every time you pick them up.
there was back in the kingsnake.com days 20 something years ago, there was a pattern with a scaleless San Diego,
Scaleless, wow.
and it was beautiful. I'm not a fan of scaleless personally.
I'm not typically either.
I think it's a
but,
flaw.
Yeah,
To me, it's a flaw, but
but it's unique.
it is unique. It's like, but that San Diego was beautiful. The pattern, all the circular and rounded, it was stunning. I don't know whatever happened to that animal. I think he had it on for sale for 10 grand forever, and no one ever bought it. But I don't even know what happened. But that was a long time ago. But
By the way, did you hear that kingsnake.com has been sold?
I did hear that. I did hear that
It's gonna
yesterday.
keep going.
I don't know why.
We were all anticipating it shutting down, and there's a new owner. And kingsnake.com, for those of you who have been around for a while, the forums were so great back in the day.
Well, that's what I had the conversation yesterday. The forums,
Yeah,
you had one source. If you wanted to talk about gophers and bulls and pines, and in the other pages, but like you went to kingsnake.com and you would get on your computer and chat about it and post pictures. I used to blow that thing up. I'd take so much pictures and post 30 pictures, but I liked it because I liked the kingsnake.com forums, because now you got all these other social media outlets. And even if it was just Facebook, how many freaking stinking bull snake pages do we have? I get annoyed with how many.
There's a lot.
So it's so spread out. Stuff gets missed or slips through cracks or doesn't get noticed because there's so many avenues and so many different pages. I loved it when it was just one place.
Yeah, prior to social media, it was it. I mean, if you wanted to talk to other people who you did not know around the country, that was pretty much the only way to do it. And it was hilarious when we still had dial-up internet. And you'd post a picture and it'd take an hour and a half for it to post.
Well, and just advertising on Kingsnake.
Yeah.
You had to upload a PDF, and it was just I hope if they whoever bought that, they better do some major upgrades, because the the technology is awful.
Well, I think that's
it's useless at this point.
That's the point. Is they're going to take it to another level because it had run its course.
It's run. It's done.
There just wasn't anything else you could do with it.
The name's still there, but like you can revamp it.
So hopefully the new owner's going to turn it into something exciting. We'll see. But yeah, just an aside. All right. Any last word on San Diego's before we go take a look at some?
Great species. I mean,
do you think they're the most popular gopher out there? It's the one that I would say I think we hear the most about.
I would say because of like the Applegates, like that's still one of the like that single gene morph is so iconic and so like people love that look.
And it's gorgeous.
And it is gorgeous.
I mean, it's deserving of that spot. You know.
I would say San Diego's.
Yeah. It seems like they're the ones people talk about the most. And again, they have a lot going for them in terms of variety, temperament, and size. They're perfect. So let's go take a look at some. What all do we have going on here?
So this is an anery striped. She is het for dyer. She will make envies. She'll make envy snows.
Fantastic.
Just a twin striper. They're usually 3, but this one came out 2.
Lots of yellow in this one.
I like this pattern on this one.
So this has more of a normal pattern and anery as well?
Yep. This is an anery patternless as much as it looks striped is because I went from patternless to stripe to get this and they were both anery, het for anery. But it looks like a striper. It's until you have worked with this animal, you can say all you want, but until you worked with it, then...
Well, I mean...
Because it looks like a stripe, but it's
even to my novice eye, all the yellow's gone. The contrast between the stripe and the body is gone. Yeah, definitely different.
This is a very different looking dyer. It's a 2-striper, which again is related to that anery. When she hatched, these stripes were electric blue. Like she was, and they've kind of washed. But we're excited to see what she'll do. We'll braid her to that anery.
What's this one?
This is a striped dyer.
Man, even within each morph, there's a lot of variety.
Oh yeah, and you can see all these lavenders in here.
Very nice.
And here we have an envy snow.
That distinctive white head. Now remind everybody, a snow is a combination of...
This envy snow is a combination between dyer albino, a T-positive albino, and an anery. It's a simple combo, but a beautiful combo.
Yep, and the distinctive kind of patternless white head.
Look at the dark eyes instead of red eyes.
Yep, the T-positive part.
Here's your Applegate.
One of the most iconic looks in all of the Pituophis world. And I think I told you before, I'm generally not a fan of albinos, and I'm generally not a fan of albinos that run more kind of low contrast and lavender, you know, kind of the lighter colors. And what I love about the pits is they pop. Lots of contrast in the albinos. Very iconic snake.